Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel, The Goddess Style. I'm Erin Rosa Crow, the Goddess Coach and the Goddess Therapist, also formerly known as the Goddess Mom. I'm still a mom. But anyway, this is my first YouTube video for 2019 and I thought what better way than to ring in the new year by addressing a very important topic, which is mental health. And the 3 tips I am going to share with you, very simple, very easy to do, and a lot of people espouse this simple tips, and yet it's not something we actively think about in terms of our mental health. Everybody thinks about mental health as something, about self-care and, take care of yourself, take time out when you need to. I think this is something that you really need to already do as a basic. I mean, I take care of myself every single day. I take time out every day for myself, through meditation or through prayers or through exercise or whatever it is. But these 3 things, I think that it's quite fun in a way. But anyway, here they are, a first tip coming up. So tip number 1 came to me as I've had very unfortunate instances last year where this thing brought to mind. So, first tip, stop discussing about people and possibly events and start discussing about ideas. Meaning, stop gossiping. When you talk about people, you're taking all this negative energy into something that will never bring back any good, but can only be bad. Socrates said himself, right? Small minds talk about people, average mind talk about events, great minds talk about ideas. So don't waste your energy and time arguing about someone that doesn't bring any merit to your life. Don't gossip about someone that you barely know. Don't spread gossip. Don't spread a negative chat about someone that does not bring any happiness to your life. Just stop talking about negative things. I hate gossip. One of the things I remember having issues working in the corporate world was I couldn't take to small chat. I had no time for small chat. I know it's the basis of women interaction, and that's one of the reasons why I sometimes had difficulty forming relationship with women when I was a lot younger, was because I didn't like gossiping. I like to discuss ideas. And sometimes events as in, are we going to a concert? Where are we going? Which is a great singer? But I don't like talking about someone. And I was talking to a girlfriend today and she said, the moment I stop hanging around this bunch of women who would love to gossip, I got myself a job and I've been working, and she said, my life felt so much better. I was no longer stuck in this circle of just talking about things that didn't really bring great things to my life. So there you go. Start discussing great ideas with friends who are of the same caliber as you. Trust me, you will suddenly find that you're more motivated to get into doing good things, to achieving to maybe creating great events yourself. Now, my second tip is read more. I know your teachers tell you this, your parents tell you to do all these things, but read. The more you read, the more you realize how little you know. I mean, my children, I'm so happy, are big bookworms like me and my husband. But you know what? The more they read things, the more they ask me questions. The more questions they ask, the more I realize, my God, some of the things I don't know. Maybe I should keep reading. I should keep learning. Reading doesn't have to be purely books. You can even read magazines. I know for us, sometimes magazines means Marie Claire or Glamour magazine. But mind you, magazines like Marie Claire actually sometimes have really good articles that share human rights issue, human stories and things like that. I encourage my kids to buy magazines like Focus or National Geographic because they do learn a lot from it. And I know we love scrolling on our Instagram or Facebook, but you know what? I try following accounts that are really smart accounts. I follow things like conservation groups, or like earth, friends of the earth kind of groups, and then they share a lot of interesting things that I can learn. So use reading constantly as a way for you to find ways to improve yourself. Seek knowledge, because don't forget, we are all not smart enough. We think we're smart, there's always someone smarter out there. So keep improving yourself. The more you seek knowledge, the better you feel about yourself, because instead of watching mindless TV and then you realize that, oh my god, I can never attain that lifestyle, oh my god, that woman is more sexier than me, or whatever it is, and then you feel bad about yourself. Read and discover and realize, my god, there's something out there, that then you stop thinking about your troubles. You will start to realize that there's things out there. Maybe you start getting involved in like charity events, or you sorry, that was a bee that was flying around me. I'm sitting in my garden right now. But anyway, as I was saying, start reading a lot more, and if you really don't have time, you can get abridged books, or you can there's an app on the iOS store, I know, that gives you a abridged version of all the news for the day that you can keep up with. This, just because politics is very depressing these days doesn't mean that there are not a lot of positive news out there. All right, so that's tip number 2 for you. Tip number 3, this is the fun one. This is something I've been trying to espouse, I'm trying to encourage everyone to do, is this. What we're doing right now. Have connection, create connection where there was none, or where there was lacking or missing. I've been trying to promote something called digital coffee amongst my friends who live far away from me. As you guys know, I'm a global nomad. I'm an expat, or whatever you want to call it. I've been living around the world, and every couple of years we move around. Like before we lived in London, now I'm living in Spain, and before that I was living in Kuala Lumpur for 2 years. Before Kuala Lumpur I was living in France. Before France I was living in Spain and in Switzerland. Before Switzerland I was living in the Netherlands. Before Netherlands I was living in England again, and it goes on and on. For 25 years I've made friends all over the world. And I don't have much chance to see these people again sometimes. I have friends in Taiwan and China and Indonesia and Thailand. So the only other option is to actually meet them in person. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't always happen that you get to meet your friends in person. So instead of just seeing, their timeline on Instagram or their timeline on Facebook and feeling like, oh, I'm missing out on their life, make the effort to make that connection. See, I'm an emotional intelligence coach, and one of the things we are concerned about in the industry is that because of the advent of digital connection, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, a lot of work from home and all that, and children are playing a lot on iPads, and homework is all done on iPads, and there's video games and all that. We stop having human touch, human connection. And you know what? We humans thrive on touch, and if we can't touch someone, then at least be able to have this eye-to-eye contact. And I love chatting to my friends on WhatsApp, when I'm on the throne, I use the time to kind of, say hello to friends or whatever. Now But you know what? It doesn't replace. I hate typing. It doesn't always replace meeting your friends face to face. But we're separated by the ocean. Even when I was living in London, I have friends who live in Hampshire, and it's like, oh, we can't always meet in person. You know what I say to them? What day are you free? Pretend you're gonna meet me in a coffee shop locally, right? Put on your pajamas, your best pajamas if you want to. Make yourself a cup of coffee or a tea or Baileys or whatever you want it to be. And let's turn on our FaceTime, WhatsApp video, Facebook Messenger, Skype. There's so many options for you out there. Don't think that you're stuck in your own room with just your computer and you've got no friends. So many people out there are feeling exactly the same way. We crave the human connection. We crave that personal interaction. So cheers to that. Have digital coffee with your friend that you haven't seen in 3 years. Let me have a little sip of my matcha coffee. I don't know if you can see this. My green tea, my green matcha latte. So I've got a girlfriend that I regularly speak to, and if we can't have our digital coffee, I send her voice messages on WhatsApp, because we both say we're both busy moms. She's a single mom, you know, living far away. Her husband passed away. She's a widow, really, and we don't always have time to meet face to face. So we just said, you know what, just send each other voice messages, so we get to hear each other's voice. We hear the laughter, we hear the tears, we hear the tone, whether we are upset, whether we're happy. And then when we get a chance, we set an hour, like, okay, we got exactly an hour or 30 minutes. Set the alarm, spend that 30 minutes, have fun reconnecting, and then you walk away. When you say goodbye, you're like, oh, I feel good. I have made a connection today. So these are my 3 simple tips to create better mental health for you, to create a better environment for your life. And they're not easy. I mean, they're not difficult to do. They're very easy. And this is my life adage. I don't gossip. I discuss great ideas with friends when I can. I love reading, be it magazine, books, or news. And I love meeting people face to face whenever I can. Because at the end of the day, I'm human. I'm not a robot, and I do not want to be replaced by a robot. I do not want to have a robot as a friend. 10, 20 years from now, I still want to be here having conversation with my friends. So I hope these are the simple tips that you can follow, that you can do, and I hope you start 2019 on the best footing. And I'll see you this Friday for another Funky Friday dance tutorial. Mwah.